Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's Chadfilms here. Gonna resume where we left off last night, or earlier this morning, at 2 in the morning. We were talking about human emotion. You know, I posed a question for you, which was define human emotion. Like, what is human emotion, right? Like, what is human emotion? And like, I was on the phone with Troy just a little while ago, and I asked him that question. I asked him, what is human emotion? And he answered, energy and motion, you know. So that was his answer. It was energy and motion, and it made sense. That was absolutely right. But it was, like, absolutely wrong, too. Like, because I told him, like, the answer is, human emotion is a tool. Alright, because the definition of emotion, yeah, that's the definition of emotion. Emotion is energy and motion. So once he said that, I was like, okay, since it's energy and motion, since you want to say it like that, you want to play those type of games, you want to say that answer, then okay, okay, cool. So he says it's energy and motion. So I say, okay, if that's how you want to look at it, then okay. So let's just look at it like, how does a normal person respond to energy and motion? Like, energy and motion would freak out a normal person. A normal person does not know how to deal with energy that's in motion. And then I had to compare it to, because you got to think about it. When you're in an argument with somebody and they're mad at you, and that's the energy that they're feeling, right? When you're arguing. And then they're mad, they're frustrated, they're illogical, they're irrational, they're angry, they're upset, they're bubble gutted, you know what I'm saying? They're boiling over, they're just pissed off, peed off, and it's like, that's the emotion that they have. So if that emotion is energy in motion, then they're sending that emotion directly to you. And to the normal person, if the normal person has a ball of frustration being thrown at them from across the room repeatedly, next thing you know, they're going to find themselves in war. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you do when somebody throws something at you? You're going to duck, you're going to dodge, you're going to jump out of the way. You might get stuck and just stare and get hit. You might, like, and then when you duck down, what's going through your head? You're thinking, oh, do they got something else? Are they gonna throw something else? Did they move? Are they in the same spot? If I get up to look, am I gonna get hit? Are they gonna run up for me? Like, your imagination is flying right now. Like, you're basically in war at that moment. If somebody starts throwing something at you, you start thinking for counter defense and what you're gonna throw back and how much of what you're gonna throw can you throw, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you're at war at that moment. So emotionally, so as soon as I broke it down like that, he was like, okay, you got it. Like, it made sense what you're saying. The average person does not know how to deal with a ball of frustration being thrown at them. But I know just what to do. You don't do shit. Like, because you look at the emotion as like a weapon, right? And the weapon has ammunition, right? So when you're arguing with somebody, they're dumping out all their ammunition on you, right? Well, once they're done dumping and their clip is empty, right? The dumbest thing you can do is actually give them another clip to shoot you with. And, like, that's what people do when they argue. When people argue, they both of them are always going back and forth. Like, it's never one person that's just smart enough to say, you know what? I'm not gonna fucking argue with you. Like, straight up. Like, that's the coolest thing to see, is a person that just refuses to argue. Like, I ain't got shit to prove to you. That's like the funnest thing you can hear somebody say to somebody else. It's, I don't have to prove shit to you, like, especially when they don't. Like, not when they're just like flexing and trying to cover up a lie. I mean, like, when they seriously They seriously don't even have that mentality. Because it's funny that I'm saying this to you now, because I do believe in aliens, right? And I do believe in aliens in human form. And I do believe that if I were to ever have met one already, that I did. Like, if I ever met one, I think I know who it was. There was this one lady. It was like when I first moved to McDonough in 2013, and I had to transfer to another McDonald's. I was working there, and it's like I always walked in there with this pink and purple checker book bag, the same one from the Cfktv music video. If you go on Cfktv's channel, you can see the book bag. I used to walk in to work with that to keep my laptop and stuff in, because I would get on the laptop after work. But anyway, it was like the managers would always, the females would always hassle me about the book bag. The female managers, like 3 of them, would always, the top GM and then the shift managers, they would always hassle me about the book bag. And there was this one person I had met in like my neighborhood before that had broke down what the book bag was. The book bag was really a social filter. It was a way for me to see who the stupid people were in my environment, because that's a big thing too. You want to know who's who in your environment. You want to know who's the smartest person in your environment, who's the most chill person, who's the most reckless, who's the dumbest, who's the most ignorant person. You want to gauge your people instantly. You know what I'm saying? You want to put them in their proper categories. You're not categorizing them, but you're just putting them in the category that they do go in. Like, they could be in the individual category, but they do have a place in society, and you just have to figure out who's who. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now I'm looking at some people that look like they're from AT&T, but they're probably cops putting wires in. That's just how I look at the world. Can't trust nothing. But anyway, uh, anyway, so human emotion is pliable. We should not be plied by human emotion. So let's go through a scenario. Let's say you're in an argument with somebody. Okay, let's say you get on Facebook or something and you say your thoughts on something, right? And then somebody gets on there and then they say their thoughts about what you said say your thoughts about, right? But instead they were more attached. They're actually attached to what you said. Something you said, they get attached to it, right? Like, you say something and they attach themselves to what you say, and they're like, no, that is not true, right? And I'm going to prove to you that that's not true, and blah, 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 blah. And that's why it's not true. Because of all those reasons I just gave you, that's why it's not true, right? And I'm attached to what I just said. So then you get on there, you read it, and you're like, damn, this person just came and attacked me. This person is just saying what I'm saying is not true. And if what I'm saying is not true, that means I'm a liar. And if I'm a liar, that means I'm not real. And if I'm not real, that means I'm gonna die. And and I don't want to die, so I got to kill this person so I don't die. Like that's how people think. Like, that's the nature of the human ego. That's the nature of emotion. Everything is death. Everything leads up to the fear of death. That's why people get mad, because they feel like if they let that slide, they're gonna die. I can't let this slide, because if I let this slide, I'm gonna die. Like, that's how people really feel. So it's like, so when you get on there and you read the comment to how they like attach themselves to what they said based on what you said, you have to make a decision to figure out excuse me, if you were yourself attached to what you said. Are you attached to what you said? So I get on there and I look at it and I be like, okay, this is what this person said based on what I said. But this person's clearly attached to what he said, but I'm not attached to what I said. So I'm not going to defend this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to argue over it. I'm not going to fight it. And that's what the lady taught me, who I thought was an alien at McDonald's. Because I was working there all day, and I'm walking outside, I'm about to get off, I'm taking out trash, and I'm looking, I see her in the window, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she is so like pretty, I wish I could get a chance to talk to her. Then I walk inside. I got 20 seconds left. I'm just gonna start over.